Principles are so very important because they serve as a foundation for a system of beliefs or a set of behaviors. Principles can help us to achieve the ultimate success, whether it's in life or in business. Now, today I'm going to talk about success principle number 7, which is happiness and laughter. The mantra for this principle is as follows: I will laugh at the world. I mean, we're talking about humor here because we got to be able to laugh. Even in dark times and sad times, we need laughter to help bring us out of that. Okay. Keep in mind that it's often believed that no living creature can laugh except man. Now, while I don't think that's entirely true, we've seen many animals exhibit what appears to be laughter. Now, it's been debatable as to whether that's humor in the sense in that they conceive and can are aware of the principle of humor as we understand it and know. But aside from that, then we can definitely say that our ability to recognize humor is in fact a gift. Okay, but remember that gift is ours to use, to use whenever we choose. We can choose to embrace laughter, or we can say, okay, I'm going to not embrace it and stay within my dark emotional state, if that's the case. But remember, the choice is ours. So henceforth, for me, and I think if you join in me and agree that I will cultivate a habit of laughter. I mean, most people that know me know I'm pretty, I'm always a happy guy. I make jokes and things of that nature. I don't know whether they're necessarily funny, but that's my attempt at humor at best, But for me, I will cultivate a habit of laughter. I will smile and my digestion will improve. And that's a known fact that our emotional states have an impact. Things like stress and all that, they do have impact on our digestive system, both negative and positive. I will chuckle and my burdens will be lightened. In other words, sometimes we got to laugh off the stress and the bad outcomes and the unfortunate news and things of that nature. I will laugh and my life will be greater lengthened for this life, and it's the great secret of long life, and it's now mine. I truly believe that people who have a lot of humor, they laugh a lot, they're able to release that stress, they end up living longer lives. We know through medical science that stress is a killer. So laughter, for me, laughter and happiness is an antidote to stress. Remember, we will laugh at the world and its problems. But most of all, we will laugh at ourselves, for we are most comical when we take ourselves too seriously. Of course, we all know, we're aware, we see in comedy routines or we see in shows like the buddy cop shows and things like that, you always got the hilarious guy and you always got the straight man. And oftentimes the straight man is funnier than the guy who's trying to be hilariously comical and unserious, because the straight man, in his efforts to be so serious, he can sometimes be perceived as being ridiculous in a certain situation if he takes it way too seriously. But the idea is to not take ourselves too seriously, never fall into that trap, because that is a mind trap when you take yourself and life too seriously. I mean, we want to be responsible. We want to, meet obligations and things of that nature. But when we take ourselves too seriously, we fall into a mind trap. So although we are God's greatest gift, God's greatest creation, we are still just a mere grain of sand or a grain of rice, something minuscule like that being tossed about through time. I mean, because whether we're happy or sad, time is going to march on. So how do we want to spend our time? Again, going back to, living in the moment. Do we want to live in the moment in sadness, depression, and darkness? Or do we want to live in a moment in happiness, joy, and light? Because when we think about it, do we truly know where we came from? Of course, we know about conception, but in terms of existence, do we really know where we came from, and do we really know where we are on our way to? We don't know what the future holds for us, whether in this life or the next, if you believe in afterlife. Okay, now, will your concerns for this day seem foolish 10 years from now? Think back to when you were younger, or even go back further, 10 years ago when you were younger, depending on how old you are, or even think back to when you were a kid. And as a kid, you were concerned about many things that by today's standard, you as an older, wiser person, they are trivial. I mean, we know about teenage angst and things like that, where it's the end of the world, doing a breakup between, that guy or girl that we really, really dug, or we were really upset when our favorite TV show got canceled, or we were really upset when we missed a party, or we were really upset when we missed some event. And we think about, or we're concerned about our clothes and our hair and our look. Some of us were concerned about our height or our weight and things like that. And so we decided that those were the biggest things going on in the world. But today we look back on those things and we laugh, because we say, wow, it's just so silly. But of course, we know it was so significant during that time frame. And probably 10 years from now, things that you're concerned about today will probably most likely be trivial then. So why should you permit that petty happening that's going on now to disturb you, knowing that in the future it's going to be something, it's going to be trivial, it's going to be unimportant during that time? So then I would say, what can take place before this sun sets, which cannot seem insignificant in the river of the centuries? I mean, we know that in the great scheme of time, our lifetimes are but a blip on the radar. Life, Earth, the universe, we all know that those are billions of years in age. The Earth is billions of years old. The universe is even older than that. And our society is only a few thousand years old. Our existence as human beings is only a few 100,000 years. Yet, that all of that is a blip on the radar. And so when we put things in perspective that way, we're not trivializing our lives or our society, but yet we bring it down from this huge concern down to something a little bit more within scale of the big scheme of things. And then we can laugh about it. And how can I laugh when confronted with any person or any deed which might offended me, so as to bring forth my tears, or bring forth a feeling of hurt or insult? In other words, life is too short to get wore down with the opinions and the insults of other people, because at the end of the day, what people think about you is none of your business in terms of their opinions. Now, when you talk about professional reputations and things of that nature, you want to earn that reputation by doing what you said you're going to do, and achieve and accomplish what you set out to do, and provide promised results. But 4 words that we can train ourselves to say until they become a habit so strong that immediately they will appear in our minds whenever good humor threatens to depart. So, so when things go bad, and so we can say, hey, okay, before things get ugly, and before, things go from being pleasant to unpleasant, there's 4 words that you can say. These 4 words, which have been passed down from the ancient times in the Bible, through scripts and scripture, through ancient text and things like that. These 4 words can carry us through any adversity and maintain a life balance when we put them in this perspective. Those 4 words are, this too shall pass. So if we understand, like I mentioned earlier, whether times are good or bad, they're going to change. Wait till tomorrow. So when knowing that during bad times and things seem at their worst, understand that even the worst events, whether it's the loss of a loved one, loss of a relationship, business loss, anything like that, understand that this too shall pass. Job loss even. This too shall pass. Because remember, we will laugh at the world. My mantra is, I will laugh at the world. For all worldly things shall indeed pass. We know that. Everything is temporary. When I am heavy with heartache, I shall console myself with this. This too shall pass. When I am puffed up with success, I shall warn myself that this too shall pass. Remember, so when things are good, they will pass. And the next bad thing will come. When things are bad, that will pass. Okay? If I feel strangled in poverty, I should tell myself that even this will pass. It's temporary. If I'm overburdened with wealth, some people out there, they'll tell you, wealthy folks, and we say we don't feel sorry for them, but they're going through things as well. Those things shall pass, but we will laugh at the world. If all things shall pass, why should I be concerned for today? Because I get through today knowing that if things are not great today, I got another chance tomorrow. So, we will laugh at the world. I will paint this day with laughter. I will frame the night in song. Never will I labor to be happy. Rather, I will remain to be too busy to be sad. So sometimes when we're struggling with some difficult times, just keep busy. That's another success principle. Part of the success principle is when you're too busy, when you make yourself busy, you're too busy to be sad about that unfortunate event and work our ways through it. I will enjoy today's happiness today. So if I'm happy today, I'm enjoying it today, not knowing what's going to happen tomorrow. It's like, wine. Wine is great when you got it and it's sitting on the shelf and it's aging, if you're into wine, and it's aging, but at some point it must be opened in order to be actually enjoyed. And so life experience is much like that. If we're sitting around waiting for the perfect time to have fun, you'll never have fun. You'll waste a lot of time waiting for the perfect time to have fun. Sometimes you have to have fun in the moment. You have to be able to laugh at the world in the moment, if nothing else, to refresh your mind and divert yourself away from whatever your troubles are. Henceforth, I will laugh at the world. Let's laugh at the world. It's part of our success. Okay, and with laughter, all things will be reduced to their proper size. Again, putting those things in perspective. When we say, okay, if we laugh about it, it's not quite as bad as we think, we can overcome it. Okay, if we laugh at our failures, and those failures will vanish in a cloud of new dreams. Because when we look at our failures, we analyze it and we determine what can we learn from a failure, and then laugh off the outcome, and then we can move on and take what we learned and apply it to something that may realize more success than that last failure. And conversely, if we laugh at our successes and put them into perspective, we won't get the big head and think, oh, we're the bomb, we succeeded here, and that. So, people say, oh, somebody made a milestone achievement and can't, as they say, can't nobody tell them nothing. So, that by laughing at the world and laughing at your success, it's an effort to bring you back down and be humble and so that you can realize the true value of what you achieved and not blow it out of proportion and make it more than what it is. I will laugh at evil and it will die untasted. That's just a sort of, flourish for, we're going to laugh at bad things that happen and then move on and say, let's move on. Let's distinguish that, extinguish that evil and move on. I will laugh at goodness and it will thrive and abound. In other words, let's promote that goodwill with more laughter. And each day will be triumphant only when our smiles bring forth smiles from others. We want to encourage other folks to smile and be happy. It's infectious. But we do this from a place of selfishness. For those on who that we see those frowns, are the ones who we won't be able to cooperate with. People who are unhappy are very difficult to cooperate with. But if we can inspire them to become happier, we might find some cooperation and some collaboration in the future. Again, we want to get them to laugh at the world like we laugh at the world. Henceforth, we should shed only tears of sweat, for those of sadness, remorse, or frustration are of no value to anyone. We should place a smile on each person's face, including our own. And remember that those smiles can turn into cooperation, collaboration, good feelings, and a sense of community. Now, each of these kind words that you use to get that happiness should be spoken from the heart. And even with all those words, there's nothing that you can't build. So never should you allow yourself to become so important, so wise, so dignified, or so powerful that you forget how to laugh at yourself and the world that we live in. So don't take yourself so seriously that you lose perspective. And in the matter of this, we should always remain like that of a child. Have that childlike silliness. For only a child will have the ability to look up at others, as children do, because they're usually shorter, and they're looking up to us. If we have a child's perspective when we look up to others, regardless of their title, station, or economic situation, we will never be so arrogant that we overshadow our place in perspective. Again, we want to laugh at the world for success. And so I feel that as long as we laugh, we will never be poor. You'll always be rich in something, rich in life, enjoyment, experiences, happiness. You'll be rich so long as you laugh. And so laughter is one of God's greatest gifts. Of course, we're the only ones that can enjoy it as far as we know. So that's a gift we don't want to waste. And it benefits us with more gifts when we open that gift and use it properly. Only happiness and laughter, can truly help bring us to success. Only laughter and happiness can we enjoy the fruits of our labors and the successes of ourselves and others. Because, if it wasn't for laughter, it would be far better to fail. For happiness is, because happiness is like that wine I was talking about. When you open it and you sip on that wine, you sip on that happiness, it makes the meal of life taste better. People often say, you pair up the right wine with the right meal, they enhance each other. Life and happiness are work the same way. Life, if you can take happiness from life, your happiness will enhance your life experience, and your life experiences will make you happier. Now, to enjoy happiness and laughter is to enjoy success. to enjoy success, we must have happiness. And, laughter can be there to serve you. Of course, we know in things like entertainment, you have comedians, they give a lot of joy by giving people laughter. They bring a lot to the world, and a lot of people really, really feel their lives are improved and enhanced through the laughter given by comedians and actors and entertainers or anybody else who managed to get a smile or a laugh out of someone. It truly is a gift, and that if we can do that in whatever our life vocation is, or whatever our skill sets is, if we can add laughter to that, it definitely adds to the sweetness of value. So say it with me. I will be happy. I will be successful. I will be successful, and I will be more successful than the world has ever known. So laugh a little, and I'll see you in the next video.